Hey friends, it's Pam. Welcome back to Freedom Questing. I'm on a journey to financial freedom as a self-employed single woman in her mid-50s. And I invite you along today to take a look at retirement calculators and how scary they are, but also how helpful they are to give you a real picture of your current financial situation. So today is a huge step outside of my comfort zone. Like, not just a huge step, but a massive long jump leap outside of my comfort zone. So I am going to show you and share with you my actual numbers from my savings of my retirement accounts, and then also dive into what I think a realistic retirement salary might be in determining how much I need to pull down from those savings accounts. So the online calculators are definitely scary. Like, proceed with caution, but also with a really hefty dose of reality. So before we get into the calculator, I want to talk a little bit about how I got the numbers that I am going to be using in the calculator. Now, as a reminder, I left my full-time career of 22 years as a creative director about 18 months ago, and started my own design studio business offering branding and brand strategy consulting for small businesses. So I've done really well with the business, but I'm also so much in the hoarding money mindset. So when I talk about my budget numbers, it's taking the actual numbers that I have been using for the last 6 months and applying that to my retirement account. So, all right, I have some slides so that we can dive in and see the numbers and I don't have to read them all out to you. Okay, so retirement salary, I've split it into several different categories. So right now, based on my current living expenses and my current budget, I am spending somewhere around $40,000 a year. And I'm living kind of frugally right now. Like I said, I'm in money hoarding mindset. But that's because I don't want to get another job. So any money that comes into the business is either reinvested into the business or used for living expenses. So I also know that freelancing is feast or famine. And so far things have been good, but I also know that famine timeframe is coming soon. So, I mean, I hope not. And I'm working really hard to not have that happen, but I'm being realistic. So I'm living very frugally, and I am on around $40,000 a year of spending, and then everything else is getting banked. But if I were to loosen up that belt a little bit and maybe give myself time or the opportunity to take time away for a vacation once a year, something small, or even open up my spending a little bit more to those things that I've been denying myself. A stable income might be around $60,000. I think that my freedom number is closer to around 80, which would give me an opportunity to travel, which is one of the things that I really want to do more of now that I'm not tied to a 9-to-5 job that was never 9 to 5. If we're going to be honest, it was never a 40-hour job. It was more like 60 or 65 hours a week. So that's a whole different story. So my freedom number, I think, is around $80,000 a year. But I also wanted to put it in context of what I think a thriving budget might look like or an abundance budget might look like. So these are numbers that I'm keeping in mind as I'm working on these retirement calculators. So we're going to focus mostly on the freedom number, but also we will use that stable number as well, just to kind of get a sense of where we are and how it fits. Okay, so let's look at my numbers. I have a 401k, I have a 457b, and I have a Roth IRA. And those three accounts are all spread all over the place, and I will be consolidating them into one, but that's a whole other video. We'll talk about that another day. And then I have a couple of play accounts. So I started an Acorns account years ago that really just sweeps up those extra pennies from every purchase and puts them into an investment account. And then recently I started playing around with Robinhood. So um, I have 5 different accounts, and I'm taking the total of what they are right now or at the end of February. So I calculated these numbers at the end of February. And so my total retirement savings account right now, in this very moment in time when the stock market is a little crazy, and yeah, we're all of that. So 173 is my number that I'll be using for my calculations. Now, the other thing that we need to take into account is my retirement or my Social Security payout. Now, there's a whole world that I have not quite stepped into about deciding when to take your Social Security payout, whether you do it at 62 or 65 or 67 or get the full amount at 70. Now, I am doing all of my calculations based on a retirement age of 67 because I think that is a good number for me, and it gives me about 12 years before I go into full retirement. So these are the numbers that Social Security website tells me are the numbers that I am sitting at right now, or as of the end of February. Okay, so there's where I got all of my numbers. But the next big thing is figuring out what to do with those online calculators. So we're going to turn the camera around. Actually, we're not. I'm going to shut this camera off, and I'm going to go to a screen sharing, and we're going to walk through the numbers together on the NerdWallet website. So NerdWallet has a really good and reliable, or has a good reputation. They have a good calculator to help you come up with some solid numbers, or at least a good picture of what you should be working on. So we're going to switch to that now. Okay, so here we are on the NerdWallet website, and I'm going to give a link to this in the description below so that you can do these calculations yourself. But NerdWallet is highly recommended in the retirement planning community, so this is the one that I am going to use right now. I like that it gives you information about how it runs the calculation, assuming that you retire at 67, 6% rate of return. And it also accounts for inflation, salary increases, and a life expectancy until 95. All right, so let's fill in some information. And I am going to, I'm 55. Annual pre-tax income, I'm just going to put in 100,000. It's not going to matter because I'm not going to use that to calculate my monthly budget. I've already determined what my monthly budget is. So we're going to switch this down here. Actually, let's take this out and put it at 0. My monthly contributions for, let's start with a stable in the stable salary category, which is $60,000 a year and comes out to $5,000 a month. All right, we know that I have 373,173. And I know that I've got 2,660 for my my Social Security. All right. So this is if I have no monthly contributions at all, and I just do absolutely nothing. And will I be able to live on the money that I have? As it turns out, I can live until I'm 92 before my money runs out. So this summary view here gives you an idea. So if I were to save $470 a month and recalculate, that brings me to an even Stevens. So I will have $855. I will need $855. However, that's assuming the stable income. Now, the other thing that I want to take into account is I want to, for as long as possible, contribute the maximum amount of money available to me to put into a Roth IRA. Right now, the IRS has a limit of $8,000 on my particular situation. I'm over 50 and I earn under the limit so that I can contribute the full amount of $8,000. So $8,000 at 12 months does not equal 470. I need to be at 667 in order to contribute 8,000. So if I contribute my max amount for my Roth IRA each month and then live on a $60,000 a year budget and account for retirement from Social Security pulling at age 67, I will be in good shape. So that is really encouraging. However, like I said, I want a little bit more freedom. So the freedom number is not $5,000 a month. The freedom number is $66.66 a month to get me to the $80,000 a month or $80,000 a year number. Let's take this out. That means I need to contribute, oh dang, 3,200. Okay, and then that gives me 1.4 across the board. 3,200 is a little steep for me. I don't think I can swing that, at least not right now. So how else would I be able to live on $80,000 a year without having to come up with $3,200 a month right now? I think the only way to do that is if I'm earning additional money in retirement. So no, I don't want a job, but I am an author. I have books on Amazon. I have this YouTube channel and some side hustles. So could I count on an additional $1,000 a month in one way or another through my retirement? So I, instead of only earning the Social Security, maybe it's another 1,000, so it's 3,660. And then what's that number look like? I would need to save 15. Let's just call that 1,600. So 1,600 gets me equal again. So those calculations are encouraging. I think this adding $1,000 in earnings for above and beyond my retirement is a little risky, but it gets me closer to where I want to be with my monthly contributions right now. So I think the biggest takeaway from this is that these numbers are guesses at best, and it's a moving target. You are always going to be having to run these calculations to see where you are in the given moment, because the numbers that are shown here, if I want to make $80,000 a month and don't have any additional streams of income, I truly do need to contribute $3,200. But what if my retirement savings recovers from this crazy stock market thing and goes back to where it was the last time I checked it when the stock market was up? So let's just say this is suddenly at 400,000, then I don't need to contribute 3,200. I can get away with 3,000 and be whole. So these numbers are definitely a rule of thumb kind of thing and not something that you need to etch in stone. All right. I think this gives me a solid idea right now. I think that 373, 173, I think my first goal right now, at least for this coming year, is to focus on $667 per month to contribute to my Roth IRA to have that fully funded. And I think that will put me in a pretty good spot come this time next year. So, okay, so that was enlightening. I think I've got a couple of plans. So right now, I think the most important thing that I can do is fully fund my Roth IRA every single year. So my total right now, because I'm over 50 and I'm within the salary range that lets me contribute up to $8,000 per year for my Roth IRA, so after tax contribution. So that number brings me to $666 per month, except I have not contributed that much for January and February. I've only contributed about $100 per month into my Roth. So that means I have $7,800 left to contribute for 2025. And I have 10 months to do it. So that's $780. So that seems doable. And that's going to be my first hurdle. Now, I also need to, and that takes me to the stable salary level at $60,000. And that will get me where I need to go. However, I think as my business continues to grow and I'm able to loosen up those purse strings a little bit and not be hoarding money and saving for a rainy day, I will be able to contribute more than 667, which means I'm going to need a different kind of retirement account. And my understanding is I just need a simple IRA to be able to contribute up to 20. I feel like I just wrote this down somewhere. So up to $20,000 in a simple IRA. Now, I am meeting with a financial advisor next week, and I have already asked her if she can help me run the numbers of what I need to be contributing to my savings in order to be able to retire at 67. So she's going to use her like financial advisor wizardry software that's different than what I can get online. And hopefully I'll have a better scenario of what I need to be contributing every month until I hit the 67 mark. So this was a really good exercise, and I highly encourage you to do the same. My biggest takeaway, I think, is that this is going to be a moving target. So right now in my life, $780 into retirement, that's going to be a stretch. Now I'm making good money with the business, but I'm also trying to not spend a lot of money. So 780 out of my money hoarding account is a big leap of faith. But I'm determined to make it work because I don't want to be working until I'm 80, and I don't want to be eating cat food when I'm retired. I want to live a good and comfortable life in my retirement. And so I'm going to need to do those sacrifice types of things financially now so that I can be free and live the life that I want when I get to retirement. So I encourage you to jump in the comments below and we can talk about how your experience has been with these online calculators. What things have you found? How accurate do you think they are? There's a lot of smart people out there, a lot smarter than me. And so You can tell this is just my baby step into all of this, and I am definitely hungry to learn from you. So meet me in the comments. We'll chat about what you know and what things that I should be learning next. So until next time, I will see you later. Bye.